Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Liam Byrne served in the last Labour government as a Treasury Minister, and he, therefore, is someone who knows whereof he speaks. And he is speaking particularly to Rachel Reeves. He doesn't like what she's doing. And it's another example of the breakdown in the Labour Party, the infighting, and the general insouciance, I suppose, towards whether they're going to get elected again, because it does seem increasingly unlikely. And the backbenchers know it, and they are not happy. But they say the taxation in this country is going the wrong way. She needs to be cutting taxes for the working class and making taxes higher from the upper reaches of society. The wealthier need to pay more, but you cannot tax the poor anymore. And this is the general feeling within the party. Rachel Reeves, of course, doesn't care. She'll take everyone, everything from everyone. She doesn't care. But death and taxes, they say, are the two of life's inevitables. But for the very rich, it seems only death. They're doing their very best to ensure they're not getting taxed. And indeed, for the poorer of society, since the last time Labour were in government, the average wage in this country has fallen. Now, you could say that this would be 14 years of Tories ruling the roost, and you would be right. Mass immigration has caused a lot of the lower wage drive. However, there is a chance of increasing this. That is by reducing the tax burden. Make it easier for employers to hire by reducing national insurance contribution from employers. Make it easier for people who do work to earn sufficient amounts of money by upping the tax allowance and also reducing the rate of national insurance on employees. Do this at the bottom end and it would help a lot more people. Increase the average wage and you lift a lot of people out of in-work taxes, which shouldn't exist. If you get rid of in-work taxes and force employers to pay better wages, then the country doesn't need these huge tax hikes that Rachel Reeves is planning. But Rachel Reeves will not do this. She wants the poor to stay poor. She needs lots and lots of poor people because this has nothing to do with the economy. This is all to do with control. Now, Liam Byrne has pointed out that the 1%, the richest 1% of Britain, have in the past 10 years increased their average wealth by £2.5 million. That's 41 times more than anyone else has managed. Now, sure, some of it will be luck, some of it will be hard work, some of it will be intelligence, but a lot of it is clever accountants manipulating the numbers in such a way as to avoid tax. And of course, tax can legally be avoided. We all avoid tax. If you own an ISA, you're avoiding tax. For example, evasion is another different thing altogether. Evasion puts you into prison. Now, you've got the likes of Rishi Sunak, who is an exceedingly wealthy man. His wife is a billionaire, but because she's a non-dom, doesn't pay tax. He only pays 23% in tax, you see, at a time when 1 in 5 people are paying 40%. The reason is he's arranged his tax affairs in such a way as to pay only 23% in tax. And I'm fine with that. They're the rules. If you can use them, use them. It is a citizen's duty to arrange his affairs to pay the least amount of tax that he legally has to. But for you and me, it's much harder because there's a lot of tax breaks that we cannot get because of the way we live our lives. There's a lot of taxes that are exclusive only to the wealthy, and they can make use of those breaks. But we need more tax inspectors. We need higher and better taxes rising through the grain when you earn, rather than just being stepped up. And we need to increase, absolutely, the bottom line. We need to say, this is what your tax-free allowance is, and raise it significantly, and lift as many people as possible out of income tax at the bottom as we possibly can. That's the fairness. Personally, I would abolish national insurance. Just get rid of it and take the percentage of national insurance and just add it onto the income tax and have a single income tax, and then uplift the allowance accordingly. And that way you don't have the option of being able to lie about having, we're not putting income tax up, but putting national insurance up, for example, and make it in law that the allowance rises in line with inflation every year. And this is exactly what Liam Byrne is saying. He said it needs to be simplified and it needs to be made more fair. Help the most number of people by helping those lower down the scale. It's a pyramid, and at the very top, there's very few. And why should they get all the tax breaks? And he's right. But Reeves isn't doing this for money. She isn't doing it to help people. Quite the opposite. Reeves is doing this to harm. It's evident. We all know it. The backbenchers know it. The backbenchers are scared. And this is destined, I think, going to be a one-term parliament. And I think already that Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves know it's going to be a one-term parliament, and so have basically given up trying to improve anything and are now going for scorched earth tactics. If they can take everything out and leave nothing behind, then whoever comes after, be it the Conservatives or Reform, is starting so far down and so unable to change things that the misery and poverty will last for generations. This is the legacy of Starmer. Continual, permanent poverty. And we're letting him get away with it. And what's worse, the Labour backbenchers are letting him get away with it because they troop loyally behind him into the lobbies that he wants them to go to. And for some reason, they despise pensioners. They're looking now to take away the triple lock. If they take away the triple lock, the pensions will go up in tiny, tiny increments. We're already the worst pension in the developed world. If the pension was the European average, our pension would have to go up 40%. That's how bad our pension is. And what are they doing about it? They're taking more money off pensioners. These people are just inhuman, and it's time for it to stop. And if the likes of Liam Byrne are seeing it, and they are complaining, and they are saying it needs to change, and the whole thing needs to go, then we know it's bad. But they're not going to do anything. They're scared. I would suggest to Liam Byrne and others like him, since you know you're going to be out next time anyway, do it. Just do what you want. Be an independent. Vote with your conscience. And if they throw you out the party, so what? You're still an MP. You can still say, and who knows, you might even get voted back in next time for showing spine. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.